Pro Football Focus, our friends over at PFF, they were giving some disrespect to Tennessee over the last couple days. They listed their top wide receiver groups in the NFL, and they named the Titans pretty much dead last, 30th out of 32. So we're going to break it all down and tell you why this is absolute disrespect, why PFF is wrong, but also not all the way wrong. I'm not going to put the Titans up all the way at 1. Welcome to Titans Today by Chat Sports. I am your host, Brett Alper, and I'll give you guys this list. I'm not going to go through the whole entire list, but I'll give you the top 5 and then the bottom 5. You have the Eagles at number 1, which is no doubt about it. Tampa Bay with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. The Bengals, T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. Yeah, the Lions, great wide receivers. San Francisco, I don't know if I'd put them that high. And then you have the Jets, Pittsburgh, Titans, Patriots, and Cleveland Browns. Obviously, that is clear, but worst in the NFL. Not even close. But the Titans at 30, I just don't know about that one. They've improved it so much. Mike Borgonzi literally dedicated this entire offseason to improve the receiving core, to improve this staff, to help the new quarterback, Cam Ward. So we'll break that all down. But I'll ask you guys before we get all into it. Where would you rank the Titans receiving core? So put all the wide receivers together. Put all the tight ends together. Where would you rank them in the NFL? Go down in the comments right now and let me know. Yeah, I'm kind of shocked. Like, I'm not going to go out there and put them, yeah, they're top 15 for sure. But to put them bottom, like, this is just, I think it's just because they said they were the worst team in the NFL. We also have to take into consideration that Will Levis was the quarterback. And when you have a bad quarterback, your wide receivers typically aren't going to do very well. This is what Trevor Sikkema from PFF had to say. He said, number 1 overall pick, Cam Ward might have his work cut out for him this upcoming season. Calvin Ridley recorded a 74.7 PFF receiving grade in last season, but no other Titans pass catcher topped 70. The team added veteran Tyler Lockett, but he's coming off a near-career low 65.6 mark in 2024. Perhaps rookie Gunnar Helm and Chikakakwo can make a nice 1-2 combination at tight end, but it appears to be a low-ceiling group. And I know they mentioned the 2 tight ends, which we'll get to in a second, but if you look at this wide receiver room, like Calvin Ridley, he's going to be your number 1 clear. Deep threat, 100%. Tyler Lockett going across the middle. And if you have so many weapons around you, it's only going to help Tyler Lockett. And you have Cam Ward, Van Jefferson, little veteran, and then Elic Ayomanor. You have Chimere Dike. And I think Xavier Restrepo is going to make the team. And then you go over to your tight ends. Josh Wiley, I'm sorry. I don't think you're going to make that big of an impact this year. I think Gunnar Helm's going to pass you up in training camp. But Chig and Gunnar Helm, you can run that 12 personnel, and that helps completely. Like, do we not remember how bad this receiving core was last year? Your number 2 guy was Treylon Burks, who wasn't even on the field. Like, Calvin Ridley had a serviceable year. I like what I saw. But you went into this offseason and you prioritized, we have to get some receivers. And the Titans, they added Lockett. They added Helm. They added Elic Ayomanor. Like, you added so many people. And I don't understand why this is happening. Why you ranked them so low? Like, Will Levis. Oh, my God. He was terrible. 63 completion percentage, 13 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions. If you have a bad quarterback, how are your receivers supposed to get the ball? Will Levis was trying to throw it while he was getting tackled from behind. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Now, the Titans have Cam Ward. You have Cam Ward, who is way better than Will Levis. And we saw it in minicamp, how much reps he was taking. How much reps he was taking over Will Levis. Like, Cam Ward is going to improve this team. Just a good quarterback makes his wide receivers better. And Calvin Ridley now has completely just gone all in. Go into Ron Davenport's Twitter account. Go look at his takeaways from OTAs. Go look at his takeaways from minicamp. He says Calvin Ridley is playing or going out there like his job is on the line, taking 110% every time he's out there on the field. His stats, like, only 64 catches. And I'll take that consideration because Will Levis and Mason Rudolph were 2 quarterbacks last year. But 1,000 yards and 64 catches, 16 yards per catch, 4 touchdowns. Now you have a guy that actually can find you the ball, and he is bought in. And I mean, absolutely bought in. He loves Cam Ward. And this is what he talked about, just being teammates with Cam Ward. You can tell, like, last year was not great for him. So we're pretty close, I'm not going to lie. We can take the talks that we have about football to the field. Like, we missed a throw in practice. We then tried it again, and we did it 3 or 4 times. And now we got it. We are ready for the next practice. We can't wait to run that play again. It's more just getting on the same page. I honestly want to hear what he thinks. I want to be in the spot where he wants me. So I ask him first, what did I do wrong on a throw? What do I need to make you feel better? Did we hear that last year? No, we did not hear that last year with Calvin Ridley at all. We're going to continue to break this down. But before we do that, speaking of Cam Ward, go get your Cam Ward jerseys today. Chatsports.com/Ward. They're on sale. They got all of them now. Not just the homes, not just the aways. You can get the Oilers throwback, so get yours today. You got to rep your quarterback, right? You got to rep the first pick because he's the future of the franchise. He is your franchise quarterback. Get yours today, chatsports.com/Ward. We'll have that in the comments and description of today's video. So we talked about Calvin Ridley, how he's bought in. He's probably going to look like the receiver that he was back on the Falcons a couple years ago, where he's probably getting 1,200 yards. I think that could happen. Let's talk about the rookies. You have Elic Ayomanor. Yeah, he is unbelievable. Another deep threat, 6'1". He had 63 catches, 831 yards. And then you have Chimere Dike too. So you have these two guys that are together. And that is improvement from what you had last year. These are their college stats, I know. But 42 catches in an SEC-type college, 783 yards, 2 touchdowns, 18.6 average. He is a speed demon. You throw it up to him, the ball's going to come down. Elic Ayomanor, he had a disappointing 2024 season, but if you go back to 2023, had over 1,000 yards. I think Ayomanor is going to shine in Tennessee. I think with Tyler Lockett over the middle in your slot, and you have the Ayomanor on the other side and Calvin Ridley on the other side, you can't really just, if you double Calvin, guess what? Ayomanor is going to beat this guy one-on-one, and Cam Ward's going to find the ball. And not only that, you added Gunnar Helm to the roster. You can run that 12 personnel. I can guarantee you Brian Callahan wants to run 12 personnel. And Gunnar Helm is a solid tight end. I think he's going to be tight end 1 at some point because Chig is going into a contract year. This was his stats at Texas last season. 786 yards and 60 catches as a tight end, 7 touchdowns. Yeah, Quinn Ewers was finding him every step of the way. So you're telling me that you put all those guys together, you get Helm, you add Ayomanor, you have Calvin Ridley who looks like he's playing for his life right now, and then you add Van Jefferson, you add Tyler Lockett. You're telling me that they don't have a better receiving core than the Chargers? Than the Steelers who just got rid of Pickens? Come on, PFF. I'm going to go through the Chargers receiver room right now. Add your tight end, Will Dissly. I'm taking Chigakonkwo and Gunnar Helm over Will Dissly. Trey Harris is a rookie, hasn't proven himself yet, but could be solid. Quentin Johnston couldn't catch a ball if I threw it 5 yards from him. He's got stone hands. All you have is Ladd McConkey. And Mike Williams, it looks like he's just washed. I'd hate to break it to you, but it just seems like he's washed. So you have Ladd McConkey, who's an absolute dog, but Calvin Ridley's an absolute dog. So why can't the Titans' wide receiver room be better than the Chargers? And guess what? The Chargers weren't even bottom 5. I think the Titans have a way better receiving room than the Chargers. So before we get on out of here, I'll ask you guys. Pick a receiver room. Type 10 for the Titans. Type LAC for the Chargers for me. Let me know down in the comments. I'm not saying that they're great, but bottom 3 worst in the league, I'm just not buying it. I'm not buying it. I'd give it like a 25th to 27th type range. That's going to do it for today's episode of Titans Today by Chat Sports. Don't forget to hit that big red sub button. Subscribe to the channel. I'm your host, Brett Alper. And as always, tighten up.